Netflix, you don't need cable. Pop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. Where we chop up locally and globally, Vince vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little bit. Winding your system so you glass a little. Post current, even these talks. Trash a little, you never know these is my flash a little bit. Different content, got them watching. You don't think you want invited, bet your friends watching in the house. Ain't job walking out before you clocking. They don't wanna miss the second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come back, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' bring it everything and tell you so you try again. Yeah, welcome to the table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? Come on in. Man, it has been a minute since we done a review on Queen Sugar. And I'm so glad the show is back. You know what? I could have sworn the show went off last year. But then when I looked at my matter of fact, hold on, let me see. Let me double check. When I had looked at my reviews, it was actually April. And it seemed like it's been a whole year since the finale of season 5 of Queen Sugar. But anyway, it is back. And you know what? I've been reviewing this show for so long, but I didn't even remember or realize that the season has started all over, that season 6 was started. I happened to see, get a notification from another YouTuber who did a review on season 6, episode 1. And I was like, oh shit, Queen Sugar started all over again. So yeah, I went and checked it out. It was on my DVR because it's one of the shows that I have on my DVR. So I went ahead and watched it today when I got off of work. So it just came on yesterday, so we only a day late. So let's jump into this. Everybody make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. Those of you who are signed up on my website, thehoodtable.com, same as our down here. Yeah, down there, thehoodtable.com. That is our website. If you are signed up over there to receive monthly newsletters, please check your email. If you didn't receive it, check your spam folder because sometimes it might go into the spam, and all you gotta do is take it out of there and then mark it as spam so it won't keep going to your spam. But anyway, we are going to jump into this review. I hope everybody got a chance to watch it who are fans of the show because it did come on last night. It is season 6, episode 1, the premiere of Queen Sugar, and the show was called If You Could Enter Their Dreaming. And most of the time I usually can pick up which part of an episode the title of the episode is referring to, but not this one. Not this one. So that If You Could Enter Their Dreaming, the title of the show, if y'all got an explanation for that or which scene or storyline it related to, please fill me in because I couldn't even figure it out. But yes, so come on in, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel. First thing first, since it's been a whole like 6 months since the last since the finale of last season, I want to do a little rehash of what went down at the end of last season. Okay. Excuse me. Some of this good old drink. Okay, so at the end of last season, we were seeing how Blue, he seemed to be quite happy, at his new home with his grandmother's up north. He's going to that new prestigious school. It seemed like he's having a great time. He's enjoying himself up there. And I had told you guys that I thought Darla was pregnant, and then come to find out she was pregnant. And this time, ain't no need to question like they did with Blue if the baby is actually Ralph Angels or not. Hopefully. Now, Also, at the end of last season, Charlie had told Aunt Vi that Davis had, Davis was over there taking care of her, and when she had the Rona, and he had stopped by to pick up something that Micah needed shipped to him. And during that conversation, Charlie wanted to know from Aunt Vi. She was like, Davis seems a little different. He seems like maybe a changed man. And she wanted to know from Aunt Vi, does she think people can truly change? And Aunt Vi's response, just in case y'all don't remember, she said that Jimmy Dale, her ex-husband, he was an evil man. She said Jimmy Dale was basically the devil who feeds off of hate and treachery. He was somebody who also got his rocks off, inflicting pain on anybody he met, but more specifically on Aunt Vi. But she said when it comes to Davis, which is Charlie's ex, she said, and she made it very clear, that just because Davis messed up with you, Charlie, he is in no way, shape, or form anywhere close to being Jimmy Dale. And I have to agree. I have to agree. Now, whether or not they should, try to reunite, rekindle their flame, I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, we'll discuss that later. Then also at the end of last episode, Aunt Vi, you remember Aunt Vi got into it with Ralph Angel? Oh my God. They had a big blow up. But after hearing some encouraging words from her husband, Hollywood, Aunt Vi started to listen up, and she loosened up a little bit. So, she at least heard, heard her husband out. She listened to him because Hollywood understands the place that Aunt Vi, has always been in Blue's life since, he was born and when Darla was away on drugs and everything. But Hollywood also understood just how hurtful and demeaning Aunt Vi was to Ralph Angel. And I still think what really set Raw off, what really got underneath his skin, was when Aunt Vi called him a boy and told him how ashamed his father would be of him for making that type of decision to send Blue away to that prestigious school. Despite that, even if Aunt Vi believes that to be true, Hollywood still suggested that she apologizes to Ralph Angel, which we never saw her do. We never saw her do. And then finally, to rehash some of last season, Calvin, Nova's man. Okay, y'all remember when Calvin came home that night after Nova visited with Andre Nixon? Calvin walked in the house and he immediately knew something wasn't right, something was off. And after asking Nova what's wrong, she handed him over that folder. Remember the folder full of the documents about the beating of Andre Nixon at the hands of Calvin's fellow police officers? Nova went on to tell Calvin that Andre told her, and remember he was only 19 years old at the time. He told her that it was actually Calvin's fellow police officers and Calvin who took part in beating him that left him paralyzed. Remember, Calvin kept saying it was a excuse me. Ooh. Telling these reviews be doing something to my throat, be dry. But remember, he had told her that it was not him, that he just sat to the side and he was scared to speak. He was a rookie. He didn't know what to do. But in actuality, Andre said he was the one who did the crippling blow. Calvin was the one who actually broke his back, paralyzed him. He was the one who did the last blow. And after being beaten by all those cops, that last blow did it. And that would put him in a chair, paralyzed from the age of 19. So Nova demanded last season to tell her the truth. And when he did, she was pissed off. Remember seeing her? She was lighting up her candles. She had to pray to all her ancestors. She was doing that what's love got to do with Angela Blaster, that Romeo show, whatever that is, that Romeo, with the candles and everything. But she was ashamed of being with someone who was capable of that type of crime because she's all pro-black. I mean, she's all pro-black, black and proud as she wants to be. Black Lives Matter. She's always involved in the protests and our rights and all that kind of stuff. So she's not also ashamed of being with him, but she's also ashamed of loving him and wanting to protect him. But do y'all think he is really a changed man? That's what I asked y'all last season. He says he is. He was putting it on real thick last season, telling her he was never really that type of person who would do such a thing, that he is a changed person. He's different man today. He also said that it was basically like peer pressure, to join in on the beating, because y'all remember they was pressuring him to join in on the beating. But then he ended up contacting the internal affairs so that he could right his wrongs. So do y'all think that is a sign that Nova might be able to continue with their relationship? I don't know. I couldn't tell, but again, she really loves him. And when they came to pick him up, you can see in her face that she was like scared to death, like, oh my God, what is going to happen to my man that I fell in love with? So that is just a rehash part of last season. That was like part of the finale, the last few episodes of last season. So to start off this season, we started off with Ra. He was up there boasting to Prosper that sending Blue up north to that prestigious school was the smartest decision him and Darla has ever made. Blue, he is doing extremely well, away at that school, living with his grandma, while Darla, who informed Ra again last season that they were expecting another child, she is dead. You can tell she is feeling now. She had that cute little summer dress on. You can see her little belly protruding under her dress. But when Darla asked Ra to join her on a trip to drop off some vaccination supplies to Aunt Vi, he had to pass on that one. And you can tell that he is still very much in his feelings regarding what went down last season between him and his auntie. And again, y'all remember how she disrespected? I couldn't believe some of the words that was coming out of Vi's mouth towards her only nephew. But anyway, instead he told Darla that Aunt Vi want to make things better. She knows where I'm at. She knows where to find me. And I just have to say, that man, he just sounds so sexy. I don't know if that's his real accent, if he's just putting on that accent because this show takes place, down in the South or whatnot. But man, that boy can talk your trolls. Ooh, child. Anyway, I'm about to go off. Oh, okay. Anyway, moving right along, all the same, Aunt Vi, she seems to feel disrespected as well, especially after finding out that Blue has recently been in town for a week. She didn't even know he was there. And Rod didn't even tell her until around the time it was time for him to leave. So despite Hollywood and Darla, making an effort to try to get auntie and nephew to reconcile their differences, it was not working, not the least bit. And why do you think that was? I'll tell you why I think it is. Because mainly what I believe is Aunt Vi, she's a much older person. You know how they are. Some of the old heads, they be set in their ways. They can be dead wrong. I mean, she is from the South. Well, the elders, they demand all this respect, the utmost respect. That's how you raise. And even when the elders know they are dead wrong, they still expect the utmost respect. And they like to have their way. So I think if Aunt Vi will fall back from that, I think her and Rob will be able to work it out. But either way, I'm sure they'll work it out, their issues, eventually. Now, as far as issues, speaking of issues, Ra and Darla, they done took out 4 payday loans within the last 6 months. As a matter of fact, Ra had to take out another loan on this episode. This time, though, he did tell the clerk that this will be our final one, being that he's expecting a big payday coming in from the harvest next month. However, when I saw Ra buy Darla that really, really expensive crib that she had her eyes on, I was thinking they couldn't be doing that bad. They getting all these payday loans every other week. They ain't doing that bad. That was until, though, Ra, he had got that phone call from the collections department at the mortgage company Evidently, they are 60 days delinquent on their mortgage payment. So why is he out there ordering expensive cribs online when he could just easily go to the local Walmart or Target? He up there, I don't know how much that crib was, but the way Darla was looking at it, it had to cost a lot of money. But then at the same time, they buying this stuff, they getting those high ass interest paycheck advance loans every other week, which is something, I'm sure a lot of people, over the pandemic had to do, especially at the beginning when people was losing their jobs all over the world. But in Ron Darla's case, when they couldn't plant any sugar cane during the Rona, their regular bank wasn't helping them out. Therefore, they had to get a loan from a different lender, one who is determined to collect on every single dime of their debt. So they got about a good 30 more days left to pay on their back payments before the bank forecloses on their property. But did y'all get the feeling, like I got the feeling, that Darla don't know nothing about all those paycheck advance loans or being that far behind on their mortgage? Like, we didn't hear a peep from her really about their debt this episode. So I wonder if he's just keeping that from her because she's pregnant and he don't want to stress her out. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Charlie and Wes. Did y'all see how easily Charlie lied to their son Micah? He's still away in college at Xavier, but he's studying online with this different school, a particular class, but he still belongs to Xavier right now. Charlie's asked and told Micah that for the evening, she was going to be listening to Maxine Waters' keynote speech after Charlie came down from COVID last season. Y'all remember? She gave Davis another chance in the ring after he took care of her so well. Remember, she had asked Vi, do you think he can really change? And I guess she thought that he could change, so she gave him another shot. So that's who she spent the evening with. She was with no damn Maxine Waters. She was up there making it out with her old man, her ex-man, her baby daddy. But you know what? If you've been watching the show long enough, you know that man has never stopped loving Charlie, which we can really tell on this episode. But will he be able to keep his thing in his pants this time? Because after sneaking around in order to see each other, Charlie now wants to go public, at least, to her family in order to, make their relationship or whatever it is that they got going on official. So I just hope he's planning to be faithful to her this time, because do y'all recall all the embarrassment that he put her through, all the damage that he did to her when they were married? She didn't have enough embarrassment in the past. So I'm hoping once this becomes official that, he'll do her right this time, because Charlie deserves a good man. She really does. She's a great woman and mother, by the way. Now, Charlie's not the only one keep a secret, is she? Oh, Micah. He's up there messing around with a faculty member at his college. The crazy thing, though, and y'all let me know if y'all caught on to this, but the crazy thing about that was, remember when they were having the online class, something told me something was up with him and that teacher. I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but did y'all see the way she was staring at him through the Zoom or whatever streaming service they were using? Like, after they finished speaking about Marcus Garvey, the professor told Micah, very good, Mr. Davis. Micah had to finish the sentence, all for her. He had to finish it all for her. But she was really putting 20 on 10, and if she didn't already know his name, when she probably knows the first, the last, and possibly even the middle, and his nickname. Probably know everybody's name in his family. But it was just something about the way she was looking at him and talking to him. For me, that did it. I was like, ooh, something is. And then I'm not gonna lie though, when he was talking to his Aunt Vi and making up the reason why he wasn't there, telling her he was at the library and forgot about it, whatever. And they wouldn't show like who he was with, but he was in bed, and I knew it was somebody in the background. I don't know why, but I thought maybe it might have been a guy. Am I the only one? I don't know why. I was like, is he gay? Is he? I mean, I child, my mind just went left. And then when I saw it was the professor, the teacher, I was like, oh shit. This professor, she had told Micah that he is a no, what she said was he is such a mature soul with a deep sense of himself. Which was funny to me, for her to say that to a boy that is barely old enough to drink. Talking about he's all deep and stuff. I'm like, yeah, he was deep, all right. While he was lying to his Aunt Vi about being at the library, he was deep inside his professor's soul, which happens to be 10 years older than his, might I add. Miss Professor, aka Miss Cougar, said that being with him makes her feel 10 years younger, as I'm sure it does. But just because she said it makes her feel 10 years younger doesn't necessarily mean she's 10 years older than him. She could be 40 and feeling like she's 30. She could be 30 and feeling like she's 20. We don't know how old she is, but she's much older than him, at least by 10 years. We can guarantee that. But moving right along. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that storyline about Micah and Mrs. Professor Cougar. Nova and Officer Walker. Now, Nova promised Officer Walker, who has provided her with, some inside police brutality intel, from his precinct, that they are safe. She also assured the officer that with the new article that she is writing covering the police brutality in their own community, real change will be made. Nova, who's always had like this we shall overcome attitude, now has a much wider audience now, an audience that she is determined to inform of the ongoing daily police brutality, within their St. Joe parish, which she's also going to use to implement or try to implement into her plans to help defund the police department. But will she be able to keep her promise to Officer Walker that him doing God's work will keep him safe? I don't think so. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I really don't think so. Down there, them parish boys, them white officers and them Caucasians, they ain't going for all that. So I don't know how safe she can keep him. And even when she went home, did you see how terrified she was to walk into her own home when she realized that she didn't have her key, but her door was already open? Like, I don't know about y'all, but had that been me, knowing I'm about to be putting out some police brutality details against the NOPD, I would have taken off. Ain't no way I would have went in that house. Even after seeing my keys sitting on the coffee table, she was like, oh, I must have been in a rush. Left my keys on the coffee table and just ran out the door. I don't know about that, because somebody could have easily lifted her keys, went inside her home, sat the keys on the table, and left the door open. And or what about this scenario? Her man, he turned himself in to Internal Affairs last season, right? So what if one of the police or, one of them got hold to his keys, because if he's locked up, they got to turn over the keys and all that kind of stuff. What if they took his keys, went to her house and left them on the table to try to intimidate her and then left the door open? Have y'all thought about that scenario? I did. So yeah, I wouldn't have never walked into the house. I would have went and got Ralph Angel sexy ass or Hollywood and Prosper or somebody. I would have went and got somebody. But anyway. You see what happened to Prosper, right? Who told Nova that his outlook at the beginning of the Rona was that the world didn't think, your life was worth living. That is, if you were old, black, and poor. So he was really appreciative of Nova taking the lead in organizing a community event, for the vaccination drive for St. Joe. And in response, she told him, I got you. I got you, boo. No matter what, I got you. But she couldn't have everybody. As you see, the state health department has sent over all these vaccines, but it was only 300 doses when actually more than 400 people showed up. The line was all the way backed up, all the way from St. Joe's to St. Thomas Parish, and due to people, outside of the community running down there to get a shot. The only people that was supposed to be there was from St. Joe, like the elderly, the people who are most prone to be getting sick from the virus, stuff like that. People who had already had ailments, but there was people coming from all over the place that wasn't even qualified to sign up for it. And then people was getting angry, they was being impatient. Some of the people were even insisting that Nova was being racist by giving certain people the vaccine and telling other people they got to go home. Then the guy in the truck, the one with his wife who lied and said she left her ID at home, matter of fact, she's a nurse. Remember, she said she was a nurse. And if she's a nurse and she really needs a vaccine, couldn't she have got her vaccine, got her shot at work, like all the nurses and doctors was being forced to do? So I knew that ass was lying. Okay, I knew she was lying, just like they was lying saying they were from there. But anyway, she said she lost her ID. Then next thing you know, you see her husband jump out of his truck, run up to the table. He done snuck and stole some of the vaccine doses. They only had like a couple of dozen vials left. So Nova, she had no other option but to call the cops to enforce some peace in the streets, because everybody was clowning, people was arguing, fighting, honking, stealing the vaccines, all kind of shit was going on, y'all. But when that cop put his hands on Prosper, old Prosper, I love me some Prosper. When that cop put his hands on Prosper, he was like, if you don't get your hands off of me, because I'm sick and tired of this crap. Prosper had enough. He was already up there arguing with this white lady who thought she deserved to get the shot and jump in front of people and stuff when she wasn't even from their community and wasn't even qualified to get the shot because it was limited supplies. And then the cop come around and he tells him that you need to lower your voice. Okay, now the other cop, he was trying to insinuate that Nova and the rest of them was, treating everybody unfairly, not treating everybody the same, no matter which parish they came from. They were acting like, oh, okay, it don't matter. If they ain't from here, everybody should get a shot. And then the cop told him, Prosper, to lower his voice. And you know how they used to reprimand us? They probably still do down south. I don't live down there, but I wouldn't put it past them to try to pull that off on somebody who might take that shit. But you know how they used to tell us, saying stuff like, you need to watch your tone of voice, boy, when speaking to a white woman. Child, old Prosper was not having that shit. And those cops were presumably racist. That's how I feel. And I'm just saying that just from what we've been seeing. Remember the time what they did to Charlie's son? Remember what they did to Ralph Angel and his son? I mean, there's so many incidents down there with these white police officers. So I'm just gonna assume some of them are really racist. But that cop, he was lucky that Ralph Angel Hollywood or both of them didn't haul off and knock his ass over the head for knocking Prosper down to the ground. I mean, they probably would have went to jail though, but it probably would have been worth it because he didn't have no right doing old Prosper like that. That old man, he's so fragile. When they showed him falling down in slow motion, y'all, I don't know. I just expected to hear some bones cracking on the concrete. It was just so dramatic, like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna hear a shoulder, a hip. I was just bracing myself to hear like some bones cracking from him hitting the concrete, but he ended up falling backwards, hit his head on the concrete, but he hit his head pretty hard, when he fell. So I really, really, really hope that old Prosper is gonna be okay. So y'all keep prospering your prayers, y'all. Keep prospering your prayers. But yes, let me know what you think about that storyline as well. The whole first episode, let me know what you thought. I thought it was really great. I thought it was a good start to the season. So I'm looking forward to watching, more episodes for the season. It came on last night, which was Tuesday. So yeah, we next Tuesday we'll do it. Well, next Wednesday, because I usually do my reviews the day after. So next Wednesday we'll try to kick off episode 2. If you guys missed my review the other day on Power, the spinoff Power 3, Raising Kanan, I did a review on the 7th episode. So if you missed that, please check that out. That was a good episode too now. But anyway, make sure you guys, if you didn't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed, and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, and don't forget our website, thehoodtable.com. And on that note, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. Bye.